Lance, let's get one out of the way and then talk about Houston. I just wonder if you've seen and have any reaction to your name coming up on those lists at Nebraska.
I'm focused on this football team and getting ready for Houston, but appreciate you asking.
Okay. Regarding Houston, I wonder what jumps out at them. I mean, this is a team that's gone to multiple overtimes and back-to-back games and obviously been there at the end, could go either way. Does that matter at all, how they're taking those games late like that, or how do you look at that?
You know you're going to be in a four-quarter, could be four-quarter plus, obviously, game with them. They're highly dynamic. You could see all the, heading into the season, they're a team people talked about as this year's version of Cincinnati of being a team in the college football playoff. You can see that highly dynamic, speed in all positions of importance, size, offensive line, an experienced quarterback who can keep plays alive, create plays with his feet, is a heck of a play to end the to score in the overtime against San Antonio. So a lot of things there present a huge challenge for us, and we'll have to be ready to take another step.
What do you have much of a connection or relationship with Dana?
No, I never. I met him in May at our meetings in Arizona. The new schools joining the conference were at some of those meetings, and it was the first time I had a chance to meet him. Just talk briefly, and hopefully get a little chance. He's got some of the. Started off at Iowa Wesleyan and had some small schools, so we could probably have some long bus stories to share or something back in the day. But his reputation offensively and things like that is well known, and and again that'll be a challenge for our defense, and we've got to find ways to get stops, on Saturday afternoon.
I ask you another one about something if you've seen it. Have you seen his comments about your offense? And
no, I haven't.
Okay. Pretty complimentary, and obviously he basically said this is a different Kansas team.
Well, it's nice of him to say, and I thought we played well on Saturday and showed some things we hadn't before, and by design. But I thought Andy and the offensive staff had a great plan, mixed it up very well, and most importantly is our guys executed it pretty well as well. That kind of, and when you're able to have that type of mixture, whether it be inside and outside running the ball, whether it be some play action passes, we're able to get a few shots. You got a chance to be successful, and it got us back in the game.
Last one for me. What jumps out about Houston's defense?
Again, ends that are, are going to get up the field on you. Linebackers are very active, sideline to sideline. Secondary plays with physicality and speed, and it's a good mixture to have. And like I said, they've been tested both directions, I guess, in that in two games here to start. So. And they're both around the road, so you got to give them that as well. So you got to be ready. I'm sure they'll be excited to have the home opener.
I'm curious for you. We talked a lot about stopping the run in the preseason. How impressed have you been with your team's ability to do that so far?
We've been, it's been decent. There were some things that we look back at film and we kind of reverted to some old habits in some areas that we could have played a little better. We were against a pretty big physical back, last week, but we're making strides. I mean, you see it all across college football, though, that the stat lines and the points scored. You can't get hung up on some of the stats. You used to evaluate yourself defensively, and we've got to find a way to continue to take another step. So.
I guess build off that then, how do you evaluate it defensively for you? Like, what are the numbers that you kind of focus on?
I don't know if there's an exact number because you got to take game by game and what's happening and, and where the breakdowns may happen. Like the first touchdown, OJ slips. And, I'm not saying it's not going to be a catch in a big game, but he slips and I don't know if he's going to have the right angle or not. But, there's things like that, okay, I don't even remember how many yards it was, but it was a big touchdown. And so you look at their total yardage and things like that. So, but I'm probably more holistic in the approach of, where we're at assignment-wise, where we're at in physicality, where we're at it as far as our pressures, and again, where we at it, here we go a game that, well, there's one turnover by them and special teams until the very last play of the game, and when we got it when we needed it. I thought we were getting closer towards, Malcolm Lee and Lonnie were getting closer as the game went on, which to me is a good sign. Also, conditioning-wise and other things that we had something left in the tank there late in the game.
Yeah, you brought me to my next question then. I guess pass rush, is that a concern for you at this point? Obviously you did it against Tennessee Tech, but against West Virginia, not as much.
It's two different. Yeah, you see the difference. Yeah, but obviously they had a good plan on Lonnie. Okay, and that's a little different. That's a pretty good offensive line. For them, and that's what and they were in a first game they very much could have won, and. Is that a concern? Yeah, we got to find ways to get to the quarterback more, but that's a veteran quarterback and a pretty veteran offensive line and some things. And, we need to find ways to get there. We do this week, and we're going to need that going through the rest of the season.
And something else you mentioned after the game was how resilient the team was, I guess, battling back from the early deficit and all the kind of the ebbs and flows. Where does that come from, and how have you guys as a culture, as a team, gone about and kind of establishing that?
I think we keep working on, a play at a time, a day at a time, those type of things of keep competing. And, I probably, give Matt Gildersleeve, again, a lot of credit with that and the off-season approach about things. And then as a staff, they keep reinforcing that, and we've got to work through, some of those things because, as we know, a year ago, some of those would have gotten away from us at by halftime. And but I think a little bit more personal and unit confidence on both sides of the ball can hopefully we're better at flushing a situation and moving on to the next one and playing. And I think they've understood our approach and bought into we're going to keep coaching no matter what the score is. And they saw that maybe against Tennessee Tech, no matter what we were ahead by. And I think last year at times they saw it as well when we're behind by a lot. And I think they've understood it, embraced it more. And then we take a situation like Saturday night and keep competing, but probably more confidence and belief in one another.
What did the film show on Kobe's play, and how big a play was that?
Besides not taking a knee, I thought he made a great break. We were bringing some pressure. I think Daniel saw that and was probably, I don't know if he got rid of it earlier than he wanted, but it wasn't a bad ball. It was a little, maybe slightly behind, but I thought Kobe timed it up really well. But again, I think we're bringing 6 on that one and kind of showed that probably the call was the right call on everyone's part, and it just was a heck of a play by Kobe.
To win it like that after they caught up at the end, what was the excitement like coming back home, and the total excitement from the minute Kobe did that?
Yeah, it was, obviously you get some flashbacks to last year's overtime game and stuff, but there are some things about this one that probably, again, happening within reasonable time of the life kind of helps this group continue to grow and believe and doing those things. Somebody showed me it was maybe Jalen on the sidelines even as the game went into overtime and stuff. There wasn't like oh boy, here we go, let it slip away. I mean, we analyzed a 4-minute offense and where we're close on a couple things decision-wise, and where we're at of trying to get one more first down and milking clock and doing those things that we have to improve on. But I never did see like that look in their eyes like it couldn't be done. And, contrary to the last one, we lost the flip, and you got to go on offense first, and that's not really what you always want. So you kind of do all those things, but, that incomplete pass that was called that we thought was a fumble, that was, we thought was maybe a lateral, all these different things. We were so close, and it was just like, okay, is this not meant to be? And, to come right back with a good play is I think gave us a chance. We burned a timeout and kind of gave ourselves to even create more distance on that play. And then, again, a big play by Kobe.
What does early success do for this group in particular, and maybe what you've seen in the past at your other places?
Well, confidence, and again, I go back to personal confidence in the unit, confidence in the system, confidence from coach to player, player to coach. People talk about you more. There's a little bit different energy in the building. There's different energy maybe outside within the community, hopefully, in our fan base. And that's going to be critically important as we're focused on this one. But then you come home for 3 in a row. We got to be able to take advantage of that, and hopefully our fans are going to be excited, the ones that maybe couldn't make a Friday night game, and you come back. Those are all things that put energy and help you along the ways of truly building a program for the long haul of consistency. And but first and foremost, it goes all back into what's in this building downstairs, work ethic in the weight room, putting in some time on their own, taking care of themselves. Win or lose or exciting wins, it's a different type of soreness, okay? And it's a different type of trip home, like was asked for, the excitement and the energy of, watching guys, board a plane and do that versus, when you suffer a tough one. So all those things, and they're all highly positive. And it's my responsibility to make sure we stay focused, and it's my responsibility to make sure that we build upon this even more so.
Yeah, to that point too, have you seen in your experience that this type of thing early in a rebuilding situation can expedite anything? I mean, do they all of a sudden, hey, we have a stronger belief that X, Y, and Z is possible? Or
I don't know if the word expedite would be the one I would use, Matt, but I would say that it's definitely things that it can get contagious, and you can keep you can keep building upon it and see results. Sometimes sooner than expected, yeah.
I wonder with the wide receiver room as a whole. I think we spent a lot of time talking about replacing Kwame and what he brought. What have you thought about the way that group as a whole has stepped up as a collective?
First of all, I think Terry Samuel's done an outstanding job, working with that group. I mean, it's still in a maturing type of way with that group, because, we got to need to find ways to get Doug on the field more. Steve McBride, Tanaka got a little playing time. It's still but there were some flashes in that game of making plays. It's not going to be one that's it's nothing against those guys, but I don't know if they're going to get the same publicity or all the other things that other people in this conference may get. But you can see guys that are making plays, from Luke Grimm and Quentin Skinner. But there was a couple plays, in fact, we were watching on Sunday, and Andy always puts together some clips and things to show the guys good and maybe not so good. But there were a couple third down catches early, maybe second quarter-ish or something by Lawrence Arnold. And, he caught the ball, stuck his foot in the ground, got upfield, got the first down. The plays kind of I'm talking about, more midfield-ish. Maybe one was on our own side. A year ago, we would have tried to outrun it to the corner, and who knows if we get the first down. But they've taken the things that we've been driving home to them of what to do, the little things of where it is, secure the ball, get upfield, move the sticks, and do those things. And that's the part I'm really, really proud of, that group. And they'll continue to grow, and we'll find ways to utilize them all.
In terms of just the overall yardage, I think it was 200 and 219 split between the two. Is that the perfect balance for you?
Run pass, you're saying?
Yeah.
See, you study that a lot. You study that stuff a lot more than I do sometimes. But yeah, that's would you like to? I always say, I've been saying this for 25 years. You love to be 50-50, okay? That at least, what we've been a part of. But then if you're doing well late in the game and you're up, you're going to run the clock and your numbers get skewed. Or if you're way behind, you got to throw it. But when it comes out yardage-wise, it's never like, hey, Andy, we're 70 yards behind in the pass game. Get some passes called. But, if we can do that, because I think it goes back to the earlier statement of what helped us, and it was an effective running game on first and second down. I didn't look at it closely. I probably should come in here with some better numbers for you, but I don't know how many third and longs we had. We were in good third down situations a lot. And when you do that, Andy's got if you ever look at him up there, he's got a sheet about that darn big, and he can pretty much choose any of them, when you're in that good down and distance area.
You mentioned the offense, different look by design, and in this world with so much scrutiny on coaches and play calling and quarterbacks and all that, how exciting was it for you to see Andy unleash something new and have some success with it, especially so early?
Yeah, it was something we debated about how much we were going to use the first game to work on it, improve on it. We talked about the depth in the backfield, how we're going to utilize those guys. So we found some way that we kind of worked through it during camp, and to have it in a conference game on the road. I don't know. You'd have to ask them how much of that caught them off guard or what it is. It's still fundamental football assignment responsibility and those things. But I go back to some of the other questions you've asked in the past is, to utilize our personnel and be as multiple as we can in different looks as we possibly can be within that, to me is something I've always enjoyed about the offenses that we've had since I've been a head coach. And Jim's a big part of that as well, with Andy on creating some of that.
I think KU leads the country in scoring, top 3 in rushing. Some national writer listed Jalen on the Heisman list. Do you look at this stuff at all, or do you encourage, do you look at the praise?
Somebody said it to me yesterday, so I'd be lying if I said, no, do I look for it? No, like I said, Daniel gives me and Andy, they give a whole set of stats, and if Andy Koldnicki hasn't used it, I'll use it, because he says it all the time, that statistics lie and liars use statistics. And you can skew these things to look a lot of ways you want. But for us to have that type of production and scoring, yeah, I'm excited about that right now, because those are tough to come by. And we're going to have our days that it may be, but we talk about it all the time with our team. If they score 55, we got to find a way to score 56. If we score 3, we better hold them to 2. And that's how you play winning team football. So, but some of those numbers, yeah, they're exciting. But it's if we're talking like that in week 10, 11, and 12, then I might have better answers and things that are more concrete. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.